It is a crucial issue in any sport, that of course being sportsmanship. Whether it's amongst fans and officials, fans and coaches, coaches and officials, or players in any of the above, it is important to remember that it is just a game. This is Matt Soucy reporting from Penobscot Ice Arena in Brewer for the 207 Hockey Hub, and today we're going to take a look into sportsmanship in the game of hockey and what the crucial issues are for every side involved. It is just a game. In the sports world, the phrase is overused to the point it is cliché. Yet each year it seems the youth hockey community is left to comprehend off-the-ice issues. Maine referee-in-chief Matt Daigle joined me to discuss the issue, and local hockey fans may be shocked to hear what he believes the problem is. Sometimes it's a little frustrating.
I think that parents sometimes are a problem. And I think people get too excited. It's a game. And like everything else, you know, when you're looking at things from the game perspective, you want to understand that, you know, a fan is sitting 25 feet above the ice with a view of the whole thing, and as a referee, you're 5 feet away from the situation that could be happening. And some parent doesn't. I don't see, you know, there are 12 players on the ice at a time with the goalies and the players, and there are kids on the bench, and you don't see everything. So, you know, when people aren't happy, that makes it a little difficult. But you know, it's part of refereeing. It's part of any authoritative type position. Whether you're a police officer, you're a fireman. Maybe that's much of the firemen. They don't really get any authority. But you know, a judge, referee, an umpire. You know, you're being criticized for what you did or didn't see when sometimes you just didn't see it.
Yeah, so kind of An important factor for fans and players and coaches to remember is the fact that many of these officials out there are still learning the rule book. Most of them understand it at a high level, but have not applied it to ice time yet. Many of these officials are looking to become professionals, but are still amateur at the moment, just like the coaches and players on the ice. Mistakes do happen with everyone involved in the game, and it's important to remember that. Daigle believes that a better understanding of the rulebook may lead to better sportsmanship in the rink and will also make it easier for referees to explain the calls they've made without problems.
And people don't know the rules.
Yeah.
The amount of people, you know, the fun thing for me is we have now in our seminars, if you're a first year official, I mean, if you're a teenager or an adult, obviously don't make this happen, but if I get an 11, 12-year-old kid coming to my seminar for the first time, never refereed before, I make the parents stay for about the first half an hour, 45 minutes. And we now have this little test that we send them through this test at the beginning of the class. I talk about the policies and procedures of USA Hockey, how to register, you've got to take a test, and the things that happen as it's joining the association and joining the organization of USA Hockey. But then we get into this little test, you know, asks, I think, 8 or 10 questions, and the parents stay and go through it. Well, the amount of people who don't know really some of the simple rules of the game, it really is an eye-opener for them to come in and actually really understand. You know, if I ask the average person what is icing, the puck gets hit from one end of the ice and it goes a long ways and no one touches it and they blow a whistle. It's really not that. So people don't really know what
Just filthy kid in the box.
I had a situation in a game where someone had tried to attempt to physically assault me when I was leaving the ice surface because a child was in a fight during a game and the parent didn't like the fact that I restrained his child and removed him from the ice surface. And you know, at the hockey rink I was at, you had about a 35-foot, 40-foot walk on a piece of rubber mat that wide. So I'm trying to get from the ice surface to the locker room door with a parent screaming and hollering obscenities and trying to get through people to punch me, I guess. I don't really know.
So there's the frustrating part of the game.
Yes. Yeah.
Another key issue that Daigle discussed in our interview is the fact that yelling and screaming at an official, regardless of whether you agree with a call or not, doesn't really change anything. As a matter of fact, the only thing that he believes that it changes is the atmosphere of the game. Here in the stands are where issues can arise between fans, parents, and the officials. While it is just as important for the coaches and players on the ice to maintain a professional and courteous relationship with officials on the ice, it is also important for parents to remember that the officials are, just like the rest of us, they're human. It is also important to remember that, as officials, it is very crucial that you make right calls and, at the very least, let the fans know what is going on. So with that in mind, as I sit here in the stands, we are going to talk to some fans and parents and see what issues they have with referees when they get vocal. How important do you think the relationship is between a healthy relationship for fans in the stands and officials on the ice? Do you think that's important to the game?
It's very important. This isn't the NHL, and there's no need for people getting out of control over, trivial matters on there. They all have to be aware that this is a kid sport. It's all for the children, and they've got to keep their attitudes on that. A lot of the people in the stands, parents, etc., don't understand the full rule book and how the calls are made. The refs, in a split second, they have so much stuff going on. I mean, they could be looking at one play and miss something over here, and that's going to happen. I mean,
I've seen games where it's been very noticeable. Just the reaction of the fans, I guess. We had a couple of games that got quite vocal.
Okay.
We had some issues with that at one point lately. So.
Do you think that takes away from the game itself and the fun where it's just kids playing
Definitely.
the game?
The way the parents behave in the stands towards the officials does carry on the ice. The kids do hear it and they tend to react to it. So we had a game last year where it was a heated game. The officials were young and maybe didn't make some calls. Parents got a little upset in the stands. Kids could hear their parents yelling. Kids start pushing on the ice, so it just generally carries over.
So you have your parents sign a code of conduct?
We do, yep.
Okay. What does that ask of them?
It asks them, it states out different rules, that they need to respect officials on the ice, that they need to, just general behavior stuff.
All right, thank you.